So you have a design workshop to run or a design sprint workshop to run, and you need to facilitate and you need to keep people in check, and you need to keep the time frame sharp because you never have enough time to problem frame, ideate, put everything together, sketch, storyboard, you name it. In design world, we just don't have enough time. Now, you could be a savage and use your mobile phone to just simply use a timer on your iPhone, or you could use like a clock on the wall and just refer roughly on those guidelines. But today we're going to talk about solution, and one of the key items in any design sprint, if you read a design sprint book, is a time timer. I'm talking about this bad boy. The time timer is basically a visual representation, a design tool of how much time you have left instead of how much time you have in total. So the best bit about time timer is that you can just, let's say, set a 5 minutes and it automatically starts counting down, and now it's just gonna show me in the red strip exactly how much time I have. Now, the origin of a time timer is really interesting. So apparently it was used for primary school children to better communicate to them exactly how much time they have for a certain activity, because they wouldn't understand simple clock, and even if they would, it would be just way too complex to understand exactly how each activity could take and how it could map out to a specific time slot. This is a visual cue and visual representation of how much time you have, and so it's much simpler to perceive it. And so imagine if you run a design sprint or a design facilitation of any sorts. Maybe it's a pitch, maybe it's a brainstorming session, as I named before, maybe it's a sketching, a storyboarding session, or just a simple ideation where you need to come up with new things. Sometimes putting the boundaries is the best thing you can ever do as a facilitator, and I'm just speaking from my personal experience, because if you don't put any boundaries, people tend to either relax too much or they push themselves too hard, and when they have too much time remaining, and so managing of a time is pretty hard. And as I'm speaking, I'm checking the time timer, and you're gonna notice that now I have only like 3 minutes left. You don't have to run design sprints as per book, as per Google Ventures or any design sprint academy. You can run your facilitation workshops between your teammates, because I've seen people run simple design workshops among themselves where it would be just 2 to 3 UX designers ideating on things, and they use time timer. The best bit about this little thing is that you can get it in variety of sizes. So I think this is a 3-inch time timer. You can get 12, 18-inch, I think even bigger, where you can just put it on a clock, and if you have a lab or workshop space, you can have an always referable space for people to see exactly how much time left, and you can always just point your finger towards it, and people would actually notice that, hey, we need to hurry up, or we need to start putting more actionable insight in place so that we can arrive to some sort of conclusion. Basic, I would recommend to people, to any designer who's aiming for leadership, stakeholder management, or just progressing in general, to get one of these bad boys, because it's nothing easier than to come into a workshop you manage yourself and you run yourself and you outplan yourself and you know exactly what you need to get out of it with this weapon in place. Because once you have that, you can always refer to it and tell people from get-go that, hey, we have this much of physical visual representation on this time timer, timing the actual time and showing it visually, and so we need to hurry up so we need to start and prepare and do great stuff right now, because we're gonna run out of time. And so these things are not cheap. I mean, I think it's around $40-50, but I think it's definitely a worth investment, especially for team managers, for head of UX, for leads, for more seniors, especially if you want to coach your juniors to do better things and better facilitation in general. It's amazing, how simple cues can actually help us out, because it's good to keep it open-ended and unrestricted to keep on creative juices flowing, but at some points when you gather, let's say, raw ideas, or you try to frame the problem, you need to time those things, otherwise you're not gonna get anywhere. Boom, and once it's done, you get a simple beep from the time timer and when you can reset, when you can take a break, or you can plan something else, and everyone should be on board and excited, because in that 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 55 minutes you achieved something, and you raced against the clock, but you raced against a better visual clock. So I hope you liked this video. Give a like, subscribe to this channel, smash that subscription button, why the hell not, and stay tuned for more material.